Well, we met on the internet.
The
Okay.
internet. We met actually on a website called Manline.
Manline.
Really? Okay.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
What really happened was that I was power dating. So I was like, I was combing the internet for
Right.
like a number of months and just completely power dating and ticking all these men off the list. I had all these men and their phone numbers, and then there would be stroked off, stroked off, stroked off, stroked off. And then I got to Tim and I didn't stroke, and that was the end. I still have the piece of paper. I was looking for it, but I can't find it, of where Tim is the first name underneath all of the stroked off names.
Well, that's very special, Tim. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you met online at Manline, and then where was the first date? Like, where was your first meeting where you said, I would like to?
We had a big phone call first after a while of just sort of emailing back and forth. Then we finally decided we should talk. So I remember going to a Starbucks and picking up the magazine he had worked for at the time, because he had told me he had worked for this magazine. And I started flipping through this magazine, which was his kitchen reno in one story, and then there was another story about his best gluten-free chicken recipe.
Okay, please share.
And so we had a nice little talk. We both realized we were both from Manitoba.
Mhm.
And I knew his little crazy town in Manitoba, which was very small, because one of my friends was injured in a ski accident one weekend. And we had to stay there at the little motel that was, I remember, $15 a night, because we decided that we wanted our own bathroom.
Well, what was the one where with the share? How much was it for a shared bathroom?
It was $10.
$10. Wow.
And none of us had any money, so we just used the poor girl that got hurt. We took her wallet and basically stole it, and then just had a great night at this $15 motel, drinking beer and having a great time.
I'm
Nice.
familiar with that bar.
Our first date was, or our first phone chat, Tim said, "Hi, it's Tim." And I said, "Oh, you're the nurse, right?" Like I couldn't keep any of them straight in my head.
Oh God.
So he always remembers that I've forgotten really who he was at all. Yes, our first date was, I was drunk because I had already been having pints with someone else beforehand.
Right.
And Tim came along with like a Prada shirt and Prada boots. And the restaurant was on the second floor. So he'd come all the way up to the second floor, only to really say then that he had to go all the way back down to the basement to have a nervous pee. You know, he sort of came over to the other side of the banquette and sat like on my side of the banquette. We laughed. I walked him to kind of his corner and we had a little kiss. And then I heard him yelling, "You better call me. You better call me." He did.
And you did. Okay, so you did the callback.
I did. And we had our second date. It was quite similar, fairly close by, after which we were sort of making out in the bike room of the condo.
As you do.
And then somebody saw that the bike room was open, that the lights were on, and they stuck their head in. And we were like, oh.
Whoops.
And then Tim told me several months later that that night he didn't wash his face.
From the first, like, okay.
From the first kiss.
From kissing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because you wanted to prolong that sense.
Yeah, I guess so.
Isn't that the cutest thing ever?
That is really sweet. That's really, really sweet.
Or maybe just a little crazy.
A little crazy, but there's crazy and then there's good crazy. I like to think I'm a little good crazy. You know, we don't all want to be sane. Okay. Okay, so you have one more thing to tell me. And what is that?
Oh, I forgot to tell you that I am actually Tim's very first boyfriend.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you had not dated anybody, or you dated a few people, but nothing, no serious boyfriend?
I had a few dates, but really nothing to write home about.
Mostly just girls.
Just girls, okay.
No, there was both.
So- Wow, so that's really special. You were like, well, when he brought the tequila and the lime,
Yeah, well, that was good. That was awesome.
yeah, that was very good. There's no,
Looks
he knew what he
fake.
was doing. Yes.
And that party I went to with my friend as my wingman.
Right.
I ended up meeting at the party two of Doug's old boyfriends.
So you were
So
inviting your old boyfriends to the party?
I invited the whole town.
Okay.
so that was weird. And at the end of the night, all three of us, well, all three old boyfriends or new boyfriend and old boyfriends, were all sitting on the couch together.
And they were the only ones left.
God.
For some reason, the other two felt that they needed to stick around. And so when
Awkward.
Tim went to the bathroom, I said, okay, you guys gotta go.
Yeah, this is my new
Yeah.
boyfriend. This is awkward.
It was funny.
When did you kind of go like, hey, I don't need this list anymore. Tim's the one. Like, when did you know you were each other's one?
I don't know. I went on a big trip and with a bunch of arts-oriented people, and I called him from China, but he wasn't home. And I thought, oh, what? Yeah, I'm just calling this guy from that I barely know from another country. I thought that was kind of my first inkling.
Okay, that was your first inkling that I just,
Yeah.
hey, I actually really like this guy.
And I threw a big party here at this house because it was kind of new. And Tim came with a big ice bucket with a bottle of tequila in it, filled with limes.
So when did you first know Tim?
I don't know. It didn't take many dates, to tell you the truth. It sort of clicked, and I really thought it was going well. So I don't know. That was kind of it.
Okay.
He just doesn't understand our love.
He doesn't. Now, do you think it was your Manitoba background that kind of helped click you two? Like, I mean, you kind of got each other because of that. Do you think that had something to do with it?
I think definitely because you know how people with their high school sweethearts, they just having that common background, I think really works for a lot of people. And for us, I feel that we have a similar sort of attitude
Right.
about a lot of things.
Yeah.
And it's from a Manitoba base.
Yeah.
For sure.
From the prairies. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And so, okay, now you've made a decision not to get married.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's a conscious decision. You've just decided we're not due. Okay. So you would like to put a ring on it? No.
We haven't really talked about it enough.
Yeah, right. I feel like you've talked to death about it.
Oh, we have talked about it.
What's the next question?
No, we're not done with this one, Doug. Like,
I'm saving that for my old age.
for your old age. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And Tim would like to do it because, yeah.
We'll
why
see.
not?
We'll see next year.
Yeah.
Look at this finger now, and then see it next year.
Let's come back to this next.
We will come back to this. Okay. Do you ever experience discrimination?
You mean the gayness?
Yes.
Yeah, but not so bad because we're older,
Not so
so we're tougher. But
Right.
also the world has changed. Now there's gay people running for president of the U.S.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. Mhm.
So I think when all that, like the 80s and the 90s were a little hard.
Right.
I know I missed out on jobs in the 1990s still,
Really?
because I was trying to get into boys clubs that just were no one's going to hire the gay kid at the TV station or at the record company, right? That was
Right.
really where I wanted to work. Well, I found a nice home in publishing, and
Right.
so that was fine. Tim, you don't really have any discriminating stories from your job?
No, I'm a nurse, so
Right, right, right. Yeah.
I
Well,
don't really run into discrimination unless it could be somewhere like abroad.
well, that's good. That's good. Good. Because, okay, so now my last question is what makes you two work? And do you
Oh.
have, and what wisdom would you have for other couples?
I think we work together well because we are very good friends
Okay, yeah, that's good.
and we have the same sort of sense of humor.
Yeah.
yeah, we joke around and we don't take everything too seriously.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, very, yes.
He can
Very
hold a
seriously.
grudge like nobody else.
Do you have a memory like an elephant, Doug?
Oh,
We sort of we push each other's buttons for sure. I fight with Tim more than I have ever fought with any partner, but our fights never really last very long.
Right.
We sort of know when to back off or
Right.
shut up or both. Right? I'm right, aren't I?
right. Right.
See? We like the same pastimes. We like to eat and drink and travel.
Right.
We don't like anything about the same TV shows. We like completely the opposite television shows. So that's
Okay.
really one of the only differences that we have.
And what kind of TV do you each like? What, what's
He likes murder mysteries and action movies,
right?
and I like dramas and ghost stories.
Ghost stories.
Or
Okay.
Turner Classics.
I like that too.
Turner Classics. I have not watched
I'm
that.
trying to think of what advice we would have for people.
Yeah. What have you got? Have you got advice, Tim?
Crane your neck
Crane your neck.
every day.
Okay. All right. And what would that do?
Just make it look less creepy.
Okay. All right. Your neck.
No, I think that young people should talk more about their feelings.
Right.
I think all this phone stuff that people are used to now sort of keeps people from talking about how they feel. You need to get it out so that the other person understands. I think people keep things bottled in a little too much.
Or things are misinterpreted in a text that would not be if you just called the person and spoke to them.
Well, there's that, but there's also just like actually saying what's on your mind,
What's on your mind? Yeah, just saying.
opposed to having it fester.
And don't be too serious.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't
Yes.
take things too seriously. Okay.
Looks fade, but someone who makes you laugh, that's the prize.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. Okay. That is so good. And how long have you guys been together?
15 wonderful years.
Wow.
Next week, no, the week after.
And how will you celebrate?
It's a Tuesday, so I'm going with dinner.
You're going with dinner.
Dinner across the street.
Okay. That sounds very good. All right.
Works for me.